everyone, it's me, Krista. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If not, welcome for the very first time to my little art corner here on YouTube. Today is day 23 of Inktober. We are still going strong, have 8 days after this one. Today's prompt is gonna be Ancients. I had 2 ideas for this one. The first one was to do Boris Karloff as the mummy, and the second idea, which is the one I end up going with, was to do an interpretation of Azathoth, because I have not drawn a bunch of eyeballs with a bunch of lines in a while, and I decided I wanted to do that for this one, so that's what we're doing. Azathoth is kind of the creator god in the H.P. Lovecraft writings. And the concept of this god in the universe is basically that it's asleep, lulled to sleep by some other flutes and things in attendance, and if it wakes up, everything basically gets blown to oblivion. Nothing exists anymore. It created everything, but it can also destroy everything by just opening up its eyes. It's pretty awesome. For the basic shape of this drawing, I decided to look at a galaxy image, a spiral galaxy, and use that concept as the main idea for how I wanted it to be shaped. I very loosely drew in a sketch with some pencil, just a Bic Mechanical Pencil, and I did do some cross lines so I could figure out where the center of the paper was using a white pastel pencil. And a lot of the eyeball drawings that I do in general, I will have kind of an idea of the shape, but a lot of it is free-handed. And this process is pretty much going to be the same here. I start with using the different inks. I'm pulling in Liquitex ink in muted gray, Sennelier abstract acrylic ink in carbon black, and then Winsor and Newton in white. And I am just using those to get an idea of some basic shading and the overall shape that I want going on. My main idea of how I wanted the setup to be was in the center where a black hole would normally be, that I would put a large eye there and then follow the shapes that I have set up and put in little eyes and mouths following what we've got going on thus far. And I start by using the Copic drawing pen in FO2 in black. I do switch this out for a couple of different Kuretake markers later. I do still love this pen and the fine lines it can give, but for this one I wanted some stronger, crazier lines, because I was going to build it up and then pull the whites in to help pull it back. This is normally the process for how I do these kind of drawings. And I did decide for this one specifically that I wanted to rely a lot on the white Posca pen and the white gel pen to help differentiate and do detailing. I also wanted the irises to be white and ended up doing a lot more acrylic paint and white gel pen dotting to insinuate stars in the background later. I also did not want to do this one red like I do for a lot of these eyeball pieces. I did want to keep it black and white with a little bit of purple. I wanted it to feel like it was this thing that is out in the universe somewhere. If you get far enough in outer space, or you gain enough knowledge, you might run across this thingy. Whereas usually for these kind of veiny eyeball pieces, I like using a lot of red because it has to deal a lot with the human body and the person's relationship with spirituality and blah 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 blah, pretentious artist stuff. I typically like using red because it brings up this idea of viscera, and the reaction is very different than with this guy. I also wanted to give Azathoth a couple of different mouths kind of close to the main eye to give it more an idea of this sentient, creepy thing going on with sharp, pointy teeth. Like it might be an eater of worlds or something. I did have a lot of fun making this one, probably because it's in my wheelhouse, it's in my comfort zone, and doing these kind of pieces, I always have a lot of fun with them, and the process itself feels very organic compared to some other drawings and whatnot. I feel like I don't have to think as much about these ones, I just have to do them, which is nice. And like I said earlier, a lot of this is basically free-handed and organic. I'm just going with the flow on it. The only pencil sketch outlines I really had in were that main eye and the idea of the shape. I do move the paper around a couple of times just to make it easier for certain areas for me to kind of figure out how the line should be going. And there are certain points where I do use the water brush with some of the ink that I still have on my little paper plate palette here in order to soften up a little bit of the white and give some insinuation of shading. I'm not super concerned about shading being very realistic in this one or soft. I want it to be harsh. I want it to have a lot of graphic lines. I want this to look kind of like a pulp comic illustration or an old sci-fi horror book illustration. I also did want to keep some of these stars in the actual sclera of the eyes themselves in this drawing. As I said earlier, I do want to give this feeling that this happy, smiley, creepy little thing is out there in the universe somewhere. You know, feeling cute, but might destroy everything later. Depends on the night. Sorry, I'm not talking about the process as much this time. I feel like it's pretty straightforward. I laid down some washes of ink. I go over them with black marker, white marker, and a white gel pen in order to figure out shapes. I freehand everything, for the most part. Not a lot of thought goes into this for me, so it's really hard for me to articulate thought process when there really is not one. It's more like, I just like drawing creepy eyes, and that's what I want to do, so that's what's happening right now. And I found an excuse and a way to do it, make it fit in with the prompt. So, blah ha 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 ha. And I couldn't think of something more ancient than drawing one of the elder ones. I can't tell if Inktober is making me lose my mind, or if I'm just always like this. It's probably just that I'm always like this. But we are making it through Inktober here together, right? What have you guys been making this Inktober? How far have you gotten? Are you still going through every day, or have you fallen behind? Let me know in that comment section down below. Also, let me know what kind of supplies you've been using. Are there any techniques you've gotten to try out and play around with? And also let me know if you have any comments, questions, feelings, or concerns. If you like this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please feel free to subscribe. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day or night to watch this video and listen to me ramble. This time it wasn't really about art stuff, it was just me rambling, so thank you very much if you've made it this far. I look forward to hearing from you guys soon, and you will definitely be hearing from me soon. Bye, everybody!